Welcome back to another Spirit Island video. In this video, we're going to be discussing in depth the Serpent Cheese Team. And this is the second super team on my channel. If you want to see me play multiple games on SI Digital with this team, you can look at my 6-6 series as I play through many of the 6-6 matchups. Now, this team has been around for a very long time, and essentially they call it Serpent Cheese Team, but really it's just maxing Serpent. So Serpent maxing. And so why Serpent? Why are we trying to maximize this spirit? Now Serpent has the best tracks and the best end game of any spirit in Spirit Island, and that is because we are ending at 12 energy in 5 plays. In addition, we're going to have multiple element spots on our tracks. So that's a total of 6 total. So you get 6 elements, as well as you get to grow twice. You get to pick 2 when you grow. So you could reclaim and gain power card energy, or you can reclaim and gain a lot of energy. In addition, you also have a left innate that is going to support the team as well as accelerate yourself. So gaining energy for yourself as well as other spirits. And then if you have the second tier, it's allowing these spirits to place presence or essentially proliferate. And then the final tier allows you to gain a free major. And then the right innate, the first 2 tiers is a high damage, high fear ability. And then the last tier, which rarely comes up into single 6 play, is a Snake Quake. Now, I find this so funny. And when I say Snake Quake, it's just an AoE damage across the board. Now, what I find so funny about this this tier of this innate is it's terrible, right? We never see it, but specifically in this combo, it's going to come up quite a lot, and that's because Snake is hyper proliferated. So normally with Snake, we never get to see this end game, and that's because usually Spirit Island is over turn 5, turn 6. That's usually when the players have either won or they know that they're going to win, and then what ends up happening is players win usually 1 or 2 turns later, so maybe 7 or 8. Now, when you look, that would put you at right here. So what ends up happening is if players are, if they're comfortable with Spirit Island and they're playing a lot, and they are familiar with the spirits that they're playing, the game is usually won right here. So Serpent never really uncovers its maximum potential. Well, that's where Serpent maxing or the cheese team comes into play. So ideally what we want to do is accelerate the track progression such that we can access this 4 plays on turn 3. So normally Serpent is only placing 1 presence each turn. So this would normally take 7, it would take 8 turns to reach this. And we want to do it on turn 3, worst case, turn 4. So that's what we're planning to do. How are we going to do that? Well, that is with our friend Green. So Green has Gift of Proliferation, and this is a 1 energy fast power moon plant. Target spirit adds 1 of their presence up to 1 range from their presence. So essentially what this card allows us to do is it allows Serpent to place another presence on the board. And this is how the cheese team started, right? It is essentially Green is trying to play this card as much as it can, hyper-proliferating Serpent, and that allows Serpent to reach the 6-4 as soon as they can. Now, both these spirits are in the base game of Spirit Island, and this combo was pretty strong, but it got a lot better when the Jagged Earth expansion came out, because that's when we brought in more repeat effects. And the most dominant spirit that can do that is Fractured Days. And that is due to the slip the flow of time. And if you're a fan of this channel, or if you're just familiar with Spirit Island, you'll know that Fractured Days is one of the best spirits in the game, and you'll know I advocate for this, or I try to push this narrative, but it clearly is. It is so strong. There's no spirit that comes close to this spirit, and the reason why is because of this left innate, or this is one of the reasons. So let's read it. It says, slip the flow of time. You target any spirit. You may use this power any number of times. The cost to use is 1 time per previous use this turn. So what does that mean? So Fractured uses time, or it spends time to use this ability. The first time you use this ability, it costs 0 time. Oop, that's not what I was looking for. So yeah, first time you use this ability, it costs 0. The second time it costs 1. The third time it costs the third time costs 2. The fourth time it costs 3. And this is all within a single turn. So ideally, what you would like to do with Fractured is you want to use this innate 1 to 2 times a turn because the cost is only 1 of your time. I feel like I'm saying a tongue twister with all of the uses of time, but that's how the innate works. Now, so the first tier, it says target spirit may resolve 1 slow power now, so this is a slow to fast. The second tier says target spirit may reclaim a card from their discard or played cards. So what does that second tier mean? It means that if a spirit has a card in discard, they can reclaim it. If they have a card in play, they can reclaim it. And then the final tier, it says target spirit may play that power card. So when you have the second tier and the third tier, you're going to basically allow another spirit to reclaim a card they have in play and then immediately play it by paying its power cost. And this is the main way that we're going to get repeats. So how does this work? We're going to use this left innate. We are going to repeat. We're going to use that slip on Gifted Proliferation, and then we're going to use Gifted Proliferation multiple times on Serpent, allowing us to hyper-proliferate Serpent in the early game. Okay, so what is our fourth spirit in this team? So the original cheese team used Might Earth. And the reason why it used Might Earth is because Might Earth is going to allow you to get an extra card play turn 1, which allows you to get your Gift of Strength innate, which is an extra repeat, turn 1. So ideally, you're going to get this innate, and you're going to use this innate to repeat another 1-cost card, which is typically Gifted Proliferation, which once again is going to be more prolifs on Serpent. So the whole purpose of Earth here is to give you that repeat turn 1, and then as the game progresses, you also have very powerful tracks that you can leverage with majors and power cards. I've also seen this combo used with Downpour for a very similar reason. Remember, Downpour has that Gift of Abundance card, and remember, Gift of Abundance is going to allow you to repeat a power card by paying its cost. So Downpour is going to allow you to repeat that Gift of Proliferation as well. So I've seen this combo with that spirit. I've also seen this combo with Memory, specifically Base Memory, but it's a little bit different, in which case Memory is going to be using Elemental Teachings to give Serpent a lot of elements so that Serpent can hit the Prolifinate. Now, I am going to be covering in the Super Team 3 or 4, I'll be covering more of the Mentor-based memory Super Teams, and that is the engine is a lot different than what this is. So this engine is essentially Serpent plus Green plus Fractured and then plus X, and currently X is Might Earth. Now, after I played this team a bunch on the channel, I recognized that there are some significant drawbacks with Earth. It's a very clunky spirit. I also recognize that this team really wanted elements because when you have elements, you're able to hit this innate, this proliferation innate faster, which is really important. So I started testing Starlight, and I believe Starlight is just a strict upgrade over Earth, which is really sad because Might Earth is one of my favorite spirits, and you guys already saw a super team with Starlight, so I'm kind of using that spirit again. But really, Starlight I think just makes this team significantly better. So I'm going, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to showcase just Starlight with this team. Now, if you were going to be doing Earth, once again, you'd be playing the Might aspect, and then you'd be playing Rituals and Draw on turn 1, so that you could get, and you're picking this G3, such that you can get that repeat turn 1, and that is if you want to be playing the spirit in this combo. Like I said, I don't really think it's, I think you're going to win a lot of 6/6s with this, with Earth. And honestly, like this core of these 3 spirits, Serpent, Green, and Fractured, is so strong. Your fourth spirit could be pretty much anything, and you're going to win majority of the matches. or the majority of your 6-6 matches. Into single 6, you're going to kill everything. But into doubles, there's going to be some matches that I think are going to give you a hard time. So like your England Habsburg or your Habsburg Sweden. Those are matchups where I think Earth is just going to be just a bit too clunky, and I think Starlight is going to just provide a lot more. So, okay, we talked about all of that. Let's talk about the roles. So Serpent, this is going to be your carry. It's going to be your support. It's going to be your, honestly, your tank. Serpent is like your everything, and that's why I think like this name for this team is really just Serpent maxing, right? Um, this is basically what this team is trying to do, right? We're trying to maximize Serpent, and so that's what we want to do. Green is going to be your tank, and it's going to be your support, right? We're using our skips with our special rule. We're going to be using Gift of Proliferation, and we're going to try to hyper-proliferate Serpent. Fractured is very similar to green. It's going to be your support with your Slipinate, but you also have Visions, your Retinate, which I'll talk about in a little bit, and then you also have your Stasis, which is a skip. So it's like a support slash tank as well. And then finally, you have Starlight, which is your Jack of all trades spirit. It is going to be the spirit that increases the consistency because it's going to increase the percentage of your drafting. It is also coming with a multi-land skip card. It is also your second carry because it's going to be able to get majors that you can combo with. Really, Starlight is just it's just like your snake times 2. So okay, so let's talk about the different aspects. So Locus. So unfortunately, Locus is not what we want to be doing with Serpent, and the reason is because Locus gets rid of that left innate. It's also getting rid of Elemental Aegis, which are essential to how this combo functions. So Elemental Aegis is going to be our stall tool. So let's get rid of those. Okay, so let's look at the cards, because these are really important. So Absorb Essence. So this is a 2 energy fast power, Moon, Fire, Water, Earth. Target another spirit. Snake is going to gain 3 energy. You then move one of target spirit's presence to your Deep Slumber track that's over here. Target spirit gains an element and 1 energy. So this card is going to do multiple things for us. First, it is going to give elements to the team, which is really important, especially on turn 1, where we were able to give that element to Fractured such that we can enable that slip. The second thing is this is going to allow us to give presence on our Deep Slumber track, which is going to allow Snake to place more presence on the board. So Snake has this drawback where it's the Deep Slumber track, and you're only limited to 5 presence on the island. Now, the more times you play Absorb Essence, the more presence Snake is allowed on the island. So if Snake were to use Absorb Essence and were to absorb Earth, their maximum amount of presence on the island is now 7. If they absorb another spirit or Earth again, it would then be 8, then 10, then 11, and so forth. Even though there's only 6 spots on this track, you can, in theory, absorb as many presence as you want. And actually, now that I have Earth over here, I should probably delete all of that because we are going to be playing with Starlight here and not Earth. And I will actually walk through the first 2 turns in this tutorial as well. I do expect this game to go probably an hour and a half. I mean, I'm not going to play through everything, but just talking through everything will be about an hour to an hour and a half. Okay, so what else does Absorb Essence do? So this left innate Serpent wakes in power. I briefly talked about it, and the first tier it says gain 1 energy, and then other spirits with any absorbed presence also gain 1 energy. So you're incentivized to absorb multiple spirits on your team. So then whenever you hit this innate, everybody's gaining energy. So that is huge for green because it's going to allow green to play majors, because green's economy is typically 2 energy, 4 plays. Like that's typically what green is doing. But now you're getting that extra energy off the Deep Slumber track every turn, which is not Deep Slumber track, off of this innate, which is so important. The second tier is, it says add 1 presence at 1 range, and then other spirits with 2 absorb presence may also do that. So this allows you, or it incentivizes you to proliferate or absorb the same spirit twice. So usually we're going to want to be doing that to Starlight, but also it does have some advantages with green. because it allows green to access any land type, and green is restricted to jungle wetland typically. And then the final tier, if you get it, it says gain a major without forgetting, and then other spirits with 3 absorb presence may do likewise. And this tier is so good because if you have if you have one other spirit with 3 absorb presence, every time you do this, it allows you to dig 8 cards through the major deck, and that's going to thin out that major deck such that you're able to find the overpowered majors. So once again, absorb essence, it's critical for your special rule, it's critical for this innate, and then it's also critical for one more card, and that is Elemental Aegis. So Elemental Aegis is a 1 energy fast power, fire, water, earth. It says defend 2 in target land and all adjacent lands. For every presence in your Deep Slumber track, defend 1 in target land and all adjacent lands. So essentially what happens is the more times you absorb essence, the larger this defend is going to grow. And so if I were to use the Elemental Aegis, let's say I use that, I guess it'd be here in this land. It would be defend 2 in this land and all adjacent lands. So as you can imagine, that this is an incredibly powerful stall tool, especially as you absorb more and more spirits. Now, one of the things that's really powerful is when you play both of these cards, right, you're going to notice you have 2, 2, 2. And this is one of the big issues with Snake is they just want to play these cards over and over again because these 2 cards is going to put you very close to hitting your left innate. You'll notice that if you have a single plant, you're going to get that top tier. And that's very easy to get once you uncover that any. Now, unfortunately, hitting this tier is going to be very difficult because it has that 3 earth, and you only have 2 card plays. So unless you're getting elemental support, or unless you're getting like extra card plays, you're never really going to hit this tier until later in the game. And that's why it's so important to have spirits that can draft a lot. Because when they draft a lot, it increases the chance of finding those powerful support miners, which means that this is going to come online easier. And now, as you can see, once you get more and more presence off, now we have 3, 3, 3. All we need is 2 more plant, and then we're maxing out that left innate. In addition, when you play both of these cards, you're also going to be getting that right innate as well. So that is something to think about. I think we covered all of that. Okay, so your other 2 uniques are also very strong. So Gift of Flowing Power, this card is critical to the function of the spirit. Or actually just this team. It's a 1 energy fast power, fire, water, targeting another spirit. Target spirit gains an energy. Target spirit chooses to either play another power card by paying its cost. So this card, it allows your other teammates to play an extra card. And the reason why that's important is there's going to be some game states where Fractured is stuck at 2 plays on Reclaim. So when Fractured is stuck in this situation, they are missing a sun, so they can't hit their innate, which means you either need to absorb them, or you can play Flowing Power, which will allow them to play the extra card needed, such that they're able to get that extra sun. And that's, it does come up, it's not that common, but this card allows you to kind of cheat out of that. Now, also that card is just an incredibly powerful card, just getting extra card plays for any of our spirits. And then finally, Gift of Primordial Deeps. It's a 1 energy, fast power, moon, earth, target another spirit. Target spirit gains a minor card, and then they may choose to play that card immediately. This card's also great. It also comes with the moon, earth elements. So there have been times where like you'll use this on Fractured. Fractured may gain the power card and then choose to not play it because they're going to gain the elements, and they would love to have that moon for that left or that right innate. So yeah, just this card being on Serpent allows you to continuously dig through that minor deck, especially in the mid game. Okay, so what is Serpent going to do on turn 1? So I've messed around with both the energy option and the energy and card play options. Oh, actually, before I do that, let's do our starting Explorer, which we have as Wetlands. And I do have a France Scotland 6/6 lined up here. And let's do our France 6s. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I've messed around a little bit with both the energy turn 1 as well as the energy and the card gain turn 1. And I am pretty sure that I'm supposed to be doing the energy and card gain turn 1, and that is because I want to thin out that miner deck, and I want to get all of those bad miners out of here. So, and I'm looking at these cards. When I'm drafting, finding a card that is water, earth, plant is massive, because that means if another spirit can give you a extra card play, looks at fractured, it means you're able to hit this tier pretty early. And what do you know? That's one of the cards we drafted. So this is a great hit for us. Really, I don't really care what I draft. It's kind of funny. I actually don't want to see support cards here, because support cards with Snake is not what we want to see. Really, we want to see just bad cards, or like a water, earth, plant card like this, or just cards with good elements so that we can forget. But yeah, so this is just great for us. So now we're able to possibly utilize and get that slip to allow us to threshold this innate. So okay, so we did that. We're going to grow towards our bottom track here, and when I'm placing this presence, usually I want to place it such that I am. Oh, forgot to do that. Okay, usually I want to do it such that I can set up my elemental Aegis next turn to defend multiple lands. So I look at this board and I see, okay, if I Aegis here, I get 3 lands. If I Aegis here, I get 3. If I Aegis here, I get 3 as well. If I go here, yeah, so I can't really get, the most I can get is 3. So I'm probably best to grow into this land such that I can defend my C5, and then I possibly could defend B6 or F7. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to be playing my Absorb turn 1. And I said unfortunately because if I play Absorb turn 1, I'll have 1 presence here. If I play it next turn, I'll have 2, which means my Aegis is only going to be defend 4, and these are both going to be 6 damage. So I might need to repeat my Absorb Essence one more time, just so that I'm able to get that nice defend 6. Or that defend 5, but you guys get the point. I'll be able to defend against 6 damage. Okay, so what is green going to do? So green is going to do a standard opening. Now, you're going to notice, that is interesting. I guess you have to select the aspect before setting up the game. Okay, so let me pause this. Okay, so let's load in. Where is it? I couldn't find it. Ah, there it is, Regrowth. Okay. Oh, that's hilarious. That did not go according to plan. Okay, well, I'll first talk about this first. So the most important thing that we need is Gift of Proliferation. So unfortunately, the Tangles aspect is not what I want to be doing, and that is because Tangles gets rid of Gift of Proliferation. Now, Regrowth, on the other hand, that is exactly what we want to be playing, and that is because Regrowth is going to give us Destroyed Presence as well as enhance our right innate. So let's save this object, and let's actually load again. Okay, so I have my Regrowth. That's going to give me 13 Destroyed Presence, and it replaces that right innate. There we go. So we have our Destroyed Presence. Now, this is massive because it is going to do 2 things. So normally green has this right innate, which is a defend 2 or defend 4. And that defend is just not good enough into high difficulty. Now, Regrowth just says you get to bring back more of your Destroyed Presence, and you're a skip spirit. So Regrowth is going to enhance your ability to skip the island, which is huge. Now, it also opens up a very powerful combo, and that is with Echoes. Solidify Echoes of Majesty Past. Now, this is a 4 energy fast power. It's a Sun, Moon, Air, Earth. Choose any spirit. Choose one of target spirit's lands. In that land and each adjacent land, defend 3. They add 1 Destroyed Presence to each adjacent land. Skip 1 invader action in each land. And I'm not going to read the threshold. So the reason why Regrowth is so cracked is because you start with 13 Destroyed Presence, which means if anybody ever finds Echoes, they play Echoes, they target you, you add back like 6 or 7 presence, and then you just get instant skips. So essentially this card says skip an entire board in a way. Now, in addition, because you're adding all those presence back, it might set you up such that you can skip following lands when you have more presence there. So Regrowth is just comboing so well with Echoes. It's just a straight up upgrade over base green, and it's just better in this combo. And this is an Nature Incarnate aspect, so this is how this team has improved with the NI expansion. Okay, so green is going to do very standard green stuff. So that means turn 1, we're going to choose this option here. We're going to G4, and then we're going to, or G3, I guess. And then turn 2, we're going to G2. And the idea is we want to access our 3 plays by turn 3. Now we're going to choose this. And now this is where we would love to see 1, 2, 3. This is where we would love to see some of those good support cards if we could find them. So let me actually, before I put my presence down, so I'm looking for good zeros, or I'm looking for support cards. Fortunately, Visions is bad, Savage is bad. This is a great card, but we also found Twisting Trail, which is a card I would consider. Not here though. The reason why I'm considering it is because it is an Isolate and an Explorer Disruption, which could be pretty good, especially into a Scotland. But I'm just going to grab the 0 cost Sun card. Okay, I'm going to play my Gift of Proliferation here. Boom. Boom, and then we are done. So now this is where terrain does matter. So ideally we're looking for wetland or jungle, because green is able to easily access those lands and to skip those lands. And unfortunately, or no, fortunately for us, we actually did get that. And I think I'm going to actually defend over here on B6, because I'm planning on, or when I say defend, I mean skip, because I plan on aegising these 3 lands with Serpent. I can skip this land with green. I can skip this land with green, and then I'll probably I probably could defend everything, to be honest. So I'll probably just end up doing all of that, just defend everything, and then see what happens with the board. Okay, Fractured Days. What are we planning on doing? So as I said, we want to play Gift of Proliferation as much as we can. And the way we want to do that is with our Slipinate. And we are going to G3 here. We're going to gain 3 time. We're going to gain our Sun. We're going to move a presence. Now when I'm looking at the board, usually I want to I want to have a sacred site such that I'm 2 away from most of the island, so I think this is great. I could move out of this land just because it's going to be ravaging, and that could be problematic. But I mean, I guess I could just skip it. That's probably fine. So yeah, really what I mean, maybe I move here then. That's still pretty good. It hits most of the board. Yeah, I'll probably move here just in case, so I don't get edge cased, and also I can access it to Hun. So I'll end up moving like this. Okay, so looking at the days that never were, and this is another thing that's so powerful about Fractured. It means we get to start with 4 minors here and 4 majors, and this allows us to, once again, we're thinning out that minor deck, we're thinning out that major deck. If we have good minors here, that's great. If we have bad minors, that's also great, because that means the other spirits can find them. In this case, whenever we G3 here, we're looking for on-element cards, because hitting this innate is the most important part of the spirit. Ideally, we're looking for some of the tri-element cards. So those would be cards that are Sun, Moon, and Air. Now, there are 4 cards in the deck that exist with those elements. That is Delusions of Danger, which is typically a bad card, but with Fractured it's good because it's perfect element. There is obviously Elemental Boon, which is pretty cracked, so I love seeing this. And then the other 2 cards are also really strong, and that is Portents, and mainly because it's a 0 cost card, so it's easy to play. And then the best one is going to be Twilight Fog, which is the same as Portents, except it also adds Strife. So these are those cards that Fractured really likes to see, just because they are perfect element cards. Now, otherwise we're looking for Sun cards, or we're looking for 0 cost Air or 0 cost Moon. So I'm looking and I see Called Isolation. So I'm seeing an amazing card. It's also Sun, it's Air, it's everything we want. So I'm going to be using this. I'm going to grab that card from the days, because that is amazing. Now looking at these majors, so these aren't the best. I do like Transformative Sacrifice here, because that does combo if we end up ever finding Echoes. That could be pretty powerful. One of the things that I noticed with this team is Because Serpent is using that Snake Quake a lot, you're able to use Transformative Sacrifice to essentially allow Snake to destroy a bunch of its presence, and then you can relocate a lot of them if you end up finding echoes later in the game. Wounded Wilds, this is just a bad card. Wrathful Beasts, this is a very fun card to play. It's just I don't think it'll ever get played. And then Forest is actually pretty strong, but on Fractured, not so much. But we did find Called Isolation, and that is everything we want. Now, we have our two plays, and this is where we're going to be playing Blur plus the Past Return. So we're going to play both of these cards, and you're going to notice we have the 3 Sun, we're going to have the 2 Moon, and we're missing that Air for this Innate. And that's where Absorb Essence comes into play. So a lot of times, you're going to be absorbing Fractured with Absorb Essence, turn 1, such that Fractured gets that Air, Fractured gets that energy, and then now Fractured has the repeat. So we're going to do that. And that is why I decided to move my presence out of my H7, because now I'm going to absorb that presence, because now I've completely left that land. And then now I can plan to do something with this presence next turn. And now I have the option of just letting this land blight if I so choose. Okay, so we executed this card. Perfect. And now Fractured is done. So now the last spirit we have is Starlight. And like I said, so Starlight is going to just do typical Starlight things, right? So that means they're going to start off, they're going to place a presence. They're going to gain their energy. And then they're going to get their power card. And I really like to gain a minor here just because, once again, I like to thin out that deck. I don't really need to find majors at this point. If I find any support cards, I'm really excited. I'm now looking at these cards. I hit 3 amazing cards here and then 1 not so great. So Call to Guard, amazing, 0 cost, Sun, Air, Earth. It's a defend card. Lure of the Unknown is a solid card, 0 cost, Disruption. And I also have Sky Stretch, which is a slow to fast, strong element card. I can go either way. I mean, Call to Guard is so strong, specifically because I can play it next turn here, gather the Dahan, defend the land. It also has the Sun, it has the Earth, it kind of has everything. Sky Stretch is a card that I would be considering as well. Having slow to fast and the range is massive, especially when I dig for cast down. But I mean, it's not really necessary just because I do have slow to fast with Fractured Days. I think I'm just going to go Call to Guard. I think it's just a very safe grab. Like I said, it solves this land nicely for me, and then I can choose to defend 5 here if I decide to go or tech for Earth. Okay, so we did all of that, and we're doing just the very standard build with Starlight. Now, before I go any further, I should kind of talk about other points of the kits of the different spirits. So looking at green, Overgrow is going to allow us to access non-jungle wetland. You basically can access any land type with this card. These other 2 cards, they really don't matter. The only thing that matters is that they have elements for your skips. You're not really playing them for the effects. Green's Leptonate doesn't really matter. You could always combo it with Snake's 2 damage to kill a building. So like you can use this, do 2 damage, and then 1 set of damage from creepers, and you can kill like a city. But the problem is you really don't need it. Like it's once again, it's like win more. Like you can just decide to save the brain power and not plan on looking at that type of like trying to optimize that. Because like there's so much going on when you're playing a 6/6. Simplifying the puzzle, like by ignoring things that don't actually matter, may actually be beneficial because then you can spend your brain power on more optimal lines. Okay, so that's that. Looking at Fractured, we already talked about Slip here. Visions, this is another really powerful effect here. And this is going to allow you to look at the top of the event deck or the invader deck, which is really good because it preps you for a possible 50-50. It's just so stupid. Just being able to play around the events is just really good. So that's what this innate is able to do. Looking at your cards, so the past returns. This is a really cool card. It just never matters. What you mostly care about is just a 0 cost on element card. Blur is a really powerful card. It's perfect element. It allows you to fast remove blight if you decide to. You could instead cause the invaders to build then Ravage, which is really strong, especially with combos like Instruments of Their Own Rune. If you have Instruments thresholded, you will cause them to immediately Ravage, and then they will end up killing all of the invaders in adjacent lands. So very powerful effect. You can also do that, build and Ravage in combo with Elemental Aegis to clear lands. This card also adds Dahan, and then it allows you to move Dahan. So it's a very flexible card, but really you're just playing it because it has the elements. Okay, looking at your other cards, Absolute Stasis is a card. It's a 1 energy fast power, Sun, Air, Earth. It costs a time to use, and it essentially removes the existence of a land on the board. It's essentially a skip card, which is really powerful. And then Poor Time Sideways, this card in theory is really cool, but it just sucks. The reason why it sucks is it lacks Sun. So really you want Sun to hit these 2 tiers. So when you're not playing a Sun card, it's harder to hit these tiers, and this card lacks Sun. In addition, it costs 3 time. And like I was saying earlier, like 3 time is a ton of it's a ton of your economy with Fractured. And yes, it completely skips a board, but it just, once again, it comes down to like, hey, you could try to optimize this card, but I think you're better off just ignoring it and focusing on a lot easier game plans. So yeah, this card tends to be pretty bad with Fractured. Okay, looking at Starlight here. So we have Shape, which is just another power card gain, and then Boon of Reimagining, and this is a powerful, powerful card here. It's a 1 energy slow power. Target any spirit. Target spirit may forget a power card from hand or discard to draw 6 minors, and then gains 2 of them. And then if you target another spirit, they gained an energy. So Boon of Reimagining is one of the main reasons why I scrapped Might, and that's because what you're able to do is you're able to play Boon of Reimagining, targeting Fractured, forgetting that garbage card Poor Time Sideways, and then getting 2 extra minors. And the reason why that's important is it allows Fractured to dodge a Reclaim next turn. So when you're playing with Earth, you don't have that luxury. You don't have any power card gains. So what ends up happening with Fractured is you end up having to Reclaim next turn, such that you can get access to your cards, so that you can hit your Slip Innate. And Starlight essentially fixes that with Boon of Reimagining. So once again, Gather, this is just a garbage card. We're going to forget it for a major. And then Peace is absurd. It's a skip card that you can play twice for a double skip. Really important in some specific matchups. Okay, so we executed all of that. Okay, so now we need to start doing the fast power. Yep, so we did all of this. Okay, fast power. So Gift of Prolif, it's going to go on Serpent. We're going to Prolif here once. And a lot of times I try to access Blighted lands, or I try to access lands that I think I might be able to utilize this damage innate on. I'm looking here, and I think I'll probably Prolif into here, just so I can possibly kill this town. I think I'll do that. And then, like I said, I can use this slip up to, so the first time I use it, it costs 0 time. And the second time I use it, it costs 1. Third time, it costs 2. You know what? Let me put a little reminder for people that are unfamiliar with Fractured. So the first time costs 1. Second, it's 2. Oops, no. First time it's 0, then 1, then 2. And here is my time that I have. So in theory, I could use this innate 3 times if I wanted to. But like I said, this is like, because using this innate for a 3rd time in a single turn, because it costs 2 time, that's a huge drawback. Because look, I can use the innate twice for 1 time, but the 3rd time I use it, it costs 2. So it's just a huge opportunity cost. Okay, so we're going to use that innate. We're going to use it on green. Green's going to reclaim Gift of Prolif. They're going to play Gift of Prolif, and then they're going to pick Serpent again. So Serpent's going to do that, uncovering that any. And let's say Serpent is now going to go into, let's go over here and just get into that Dahan land. Once again, accessing another Blighted land. Actually, let's go over here instead. Okay, so we've used it once. So now the second time we use the Slip Innate, it'll cost us 1 time. And now this is where things get a little bit tricky here. So ideally with Serpent, we want to be at 2 plays. That's what we want to be next turn. Ideally, we would like to be 2 plays and the reclaim 1. So like We prolift one more time this turn, and then next turn we place a presence, and that uncovers our reclaim 1, which means we can easily reclaim 1 or absorb essence, so we don't have to spend a reclaim option, and we can instead gain another power card. So that is ideally what we want to be doing, which it makes sense, right? We have one more slip innate, which means one more gift of prolif, which sets that up. But there's a wrench in our plan, and that is, remember how our elemental Aegis is going to scale with the number of absorbed presence? Well, if I absorb presence next turn, Aegis is at defend 4. And that is not good enough when I'm dealing with lands that are doing 6 damage. Which means I need to find one other repeat. So I could either choose to essentially double absorb next turn, or I can double absorb this turn. If I double absorb this turn, it means next turn I'll be here, any in the 2 plays, which means I'm going to have to reclaim instead of gaining that power card because I'm not going to have to reclaim 1. And hopefully that makes sense. But that is yeah, so that is the decision tree you need to make. Now, because I have Called Isolation and because I have Boon of Reimagining, I think there's a high chance of me just being able to double absorb next turn. And double absorbing next turn is way better because I'm able to absorb Starlight as well as Green. And that is going to allow me to better set up Regrowth or better set up Thresholding a Major here. So ideally, I'd like to double absorb turn 2, but it could depend. You know, it could depend. Maybe you actually want to just double absorb this turn, double absorb next turn. I don't know what your plan is. So that is something to consider. Oh yeah, another thing though is if you're double absorbing next turn, then that means it's going to be a little bit trickier to it's spending one of your repeats when maybe you should instead go like double Aegis, right? Because that's another thing you're able to do. You're able to play Aegis in one land and then repeat Aegis, do it again. So tons of different things to think about. I think I'm just going to do the simple plan of just absorbing again here. So once again, or not absorb, prolif again. So I reclaim, play it. And that is going to cost 1 time here. Perfect. And then that is going to allow Serpent to prolif 1 more time. And we're going to go into this blighted land here. Okay. And as you're going to notice, we are at 5 presence here. So we're very quickly placing a lot of presence. So really, we're going to need to double absorb anyway to get to 10 next turn. Okay, so looking at Fractured, so a lot of times I just like to use Blur to heal Blight if possible. So I could do that here, healing this Blight. I could instead use it to add Dahan and set up a better Dahan counterattack, which maybe I'm just trying to think. And that's where this presence move matters because I can instead like move my presence all the way across the board and allow myself to do that. But I think I'm just better off. Oh, the healing the blight, I guess, doesn't even matter because of France. It's probably better to set up Dahan, but I'm not going to get into it. That's all we're going to do. Okay, so that's that. We don't use past returns, and then Starlight is done. Okay, so let's do our builds here. I'm going to do all of our builds. And I'm going to have to triangle trade here. I probably should. I wonder if I'm supposed to put it into the Beastland. Mountains. Nope, I guessed correct. The reason why I like putting it in after France 6 as well, everybody's favorite rule. France 6, France 6, France 6, France 6. Okay. The reason why I like putting my triangle trade into my land 2 is because of Grim Toll, which is that disease damage. And we also have to be very careful of the LCs, specifically the Scotland LC. France LC sometimes comes up in this adversary comp. Said sometimes it does. And I am not playing through this whole game because it would take me a while, especially with me trying to explain everything. Okay. Okay, so I do have that Moon innate now with Serpent here, or with Starlight. Actually, I should probably do this first. So let's let's look at the events first. So we skip that first event. We're going to look at this top one. We see its new species spread, and that's going to be by 50-50. And just having this knowledge is massive because now I know, okay, I'm going to get offerings of Pattern and Dance, so I'm incentivized to grow into Lands of Tudahan such that I could gain that extra free energy. Okay, so that was that. Right, Innate is done. We've done this twice. Fractured is done. Now we're ready for Starlight. So Starlight wants to use that Moon Innate. Ideally, I like to stop a build if possible, so I'm going to gather one Explorer out of this land here. And actually, this is where I look at the board and I look at where would be a great Aegis to do. And, oh, I probably should move my presence. Oops. Yeah, this presence should have been here. So slight error by me. It should have gone over here because then I could have gathered out of possibly this mountain, but it's whatever. Okay, so like I said, this is probably a really good Aegis next turn. So it'll defend these 3 lands. So let me gather one Explorer out of my F6. Actually, no, out of my F4 instead, because I can easily defend and kill my F6 and my my B7. So that's that Moon Innate. Starlight is now going to use Shape to gain a power card. They're gonna forget Shape to gain a 3 energy. 1, 2, 3. And these cards are supposed to be on Starlight. I'm very sad. Maybe I should have did my Boon of Reimagining first, because there's Twilight Fog, which would have been that amazing card for Fractured. And these cards are just a bit awkward in general. They're Sun cards, and I'm probably just going to tech Sun, so I'd probably grab... Twilight Fog's the best card here. It's also the Moon card. I could actually go Disorienting, and go Disorienting, push this out, add to Wilds, and then I can forget it for when new species comes up. Twilight Fog does have Strife that does combo with Slave Rebellion. You really could do anything here. I love that Disorienting stops that land, but I think I'm just going to go with Twilight Fog. Just going with zeros. Disorienting costs an energy, and you know what? I'm probably better off having next turn I could reclaim Boon of Reimagining, play Boon of Reimagining again. And I'm comparing that line versus playing Disorienting here. I think that line's just better. And let me just rephrase it so people can see what I'm saying. So next turn, right? Next turn, this card will be in discard. I'm playing Call to Guard to defend this land. And then my next card is pretty much a flex spot. I could play Twilight Fog, but I really, it doesn't really do anything for me unless I'm going to go for the Aeronate. And that's, I guess I could actually do this, go for the Aeronate. Oh, that'd be so sick. I'm starting to talk myself into it. Actually, let's. So the reason why I grabbed Twilight Fog is it's a Sun water card, so the water allows me to threshold. It lets me combo with water cards. But there is this crazy line where I do these 2 cards, grab an air, and then I can Disorienting here, and then I can use the Aeronate to push these Explorers out. And the whole point of this is I'm just trying to stop builds as much as I can. So there is this line, but then I have to compare this line versus the line of reclaiming Boon of Reimagining and playing a second Boon of Reimagining on the team. So, okay, so we did all that. We have to do Boon of Reimagining, so this is going to be on Fractured Days. We talked about Port Time Sideways is gone. Gaining an energy, and then they're going to get 6 cards. And this is where I believe the app is bugged. I believe the you pick 2 cards, and then 2 cards go into the days on the app. I don't believe that's correct. So essentially you're getting 4 cards when I think you're supposed to be getting 3. If I'm wrong, please correct me. And wow, look at this. So we got the other card that I wanted, so Portents. So even though we saw Twilight Fog, we also found the other Perfect Element card. So Portents is going to do amazing things for us because now we could tech for either G2 or G3 next turn. And we're lined up to easily, we'll probably end up doing G2, but I guess it depends what else I'm going to draft here. Also got Favors. That's another amazing card because it's on element. Sun, Moon, also defend. Let's grab that. And then we'll put Treacherous Waterways in the days because it has that Water Earth. And this is what I was just talking about, where because of Starlight existing in this team, we've now powered ourselves up to where now I have a defend. I have just very flexible options now for next turn. Okay, so the last thing that we need to figure out is Snake's innates here. So Snake has 2 fire and an earth. I haven't any element, so I can either choose to go with a plant, in which case both Snake and Fractured will gain an energy, or I can choose to go with an earth, which is going to give me 2 damage as well as this moon innate, so it allows me to essentially kill the town here. I mean, you really can go either way here. I think I'm gonna go like the energy is great on both spirits, but I think I'm gonna go with the damage and the whole purpose of that. So 2 fear and another fear, or because I'm killing the town and then I can push a town. Whole reason why I'm doing that is because I want to keep the town count low. I don't think I'm gonna have any energy problems in this game just because I've drafted such good zeros here. So okay, everything's been executed. We're gonna time pass here. Very, very nice. And next turn we're gonna grow. So actually, let's first do green here. So this is where we're gonna grow and then grow again. So we're growing twice. One of these has to go to Jungle Wetlands. The other one can go to Sands Mountain. And I'm going to go over here because I want to hopefully defend that land. Actually, I should probably look to defend this land instead. Or a skip might be 2. And then I'll end up skipping this land with green, or I'll end up getting absorbed. Green now is going to have 3 card plays. This is where we play Overgrow into Knight. And we like to play, usually these 2 cards sets us up such that if we get 1 extra element, we end up being able to add 2 Destroyed Presence. If I don't play both of these cards, and if I play another like this card, it means that I won't have the second water needed. But I think this is probably pretty good because this is also 1 damage, 2 damage. Yeah, I think this is probably fine with green. Okay, so let's do Starlight next because this is probably the next thing we need to look at, and that is getting a major here. And yep, oh god, there's UG. Unbelievable. So we're probably just going to go with Unrelenting Growth. Though you really could do anything at this point. Winds is great. Like we've already said that we're going to tech air, or that we could tech air with Call to Guard, like disorienting. Like there's so many lines, right? I can do these 2, teching air, grabbing a good air card with winds. I'm a little sad that I passed up. Well, actually, I guess Twilight Fog would not have mattered here, but I mean, unfortunately, Unrelenting Growth is just absolutely absurd here. So we're going to go with that card. We're getting Gather. And like I said, I have 2 options here. I can go with these 2 cards, or I can actually go with Unrelenting plus Call to Guard instead, which I'm probably better off doing this. So, okay, so that's one option. Second option is I'm going to go and gain an energy. Third option, I probably go for the 2 energy button, just so I can afford this. So we go here, and I probably move this presence over onto Fractured's board. And because Call to Guard is defending this nicely, I can afford this luxury here. Ooh, I have to be careful because I'm getting France escalations immediately, which I guess to take the blight here, we would probably that is a shame, especially if it's wetland follow-up. Yeah, maybe it's definitely a mistake for me to have grown here, I think. Is what it is. Okay, so we're going to be doing Unrelenting Growth, and this does open up possibilities to where I can actually double grow bottom track, gain 2 sun, and then that allows me to end up reclaiming Unrelenting next turn. I could instead throw it on Snake and just hyper proliferate even more. Yeah, what an absurd game. I think with this case, I'm going to go with a G2 here with Fractured. So I'm going to place a presence, gain a moon, and I think I'm going to gain 2 time. And the reason for that is because I could play these 3 cards. Because I've drafted perfect element cards, I don't need to get the +2 card play option, because this is going to max out my innates here. Yep. And by doing this, this also allows me to place an extra presence here, so I can create that sacred site. There we go. Very nice. And I'm getting that power card. getting that miner. And I want to gain that miner here because I want to have another opportunity to dig through the miner deck. And look what I found. Found the other, just find all of the good cards. So found another tri-element card. And so before I go any further here with this team, the consistency is so high, right? With Serpent here, right? I looked at a miner turn 1. I looked at a miner with green on turn 1. Fractured, you have a miner in the days. That's 4 more cards. Starlight looks at 8 miners turn 1, and then it's giving away 6 miners to Fractured with Boon of Reimagining, and that's turn 1. And when you add up all of that, right, that's going to be 4, 8, 16, 20, is that 28? So what, this is 4 miners, 4 with shape. So it looks like there's 26 miners that you look at turn 1, which is 26 of the miner deck. Like, that's huge. It's a huge portion that you get to look by adding Starlight into this team. If I have freaking Might Earth here, I only look at 4 cards. So that means this the 14 cards that Starlight is allowing you to look at, you don't actually get with Earth. So and this also doesn't even factor in the extra draft you get on turn 2. So like, I could look at an additional 4 more miners. Obviously I chose majors, so that's something to think about. And then of course now Fractured, right? We looked at another 4 more miners, and then Serpent, we're going to look at another 4 more miners. So right now we're at 26, but soon we're actually going to be at 34 miners because we're about to look at 4 more with Serpent. Now we know there's, dang, I know we're going to hit the support cards at some point. So unfortunately I found Elemental Boon. We're going to grab it. I say unfortunate, but that's still a great hit here. But unfortunately we did find it on Serpent. Ideally I like finding it on the other spirits. So we did that. We gained the energy. We're going to place a presence, and then we have the reclaim 1. We're going to reclaim 1 absorb essence. This presence, we're going to go into this. I was going to say this mountain. Let's actually go this jungle, because I unfortunately we're going to get France escalated, so this is going to build, and then I don't want to immediately get blighted. Actually, that's probably fine, because then I lose a presence then. Okay, we do that. We play absorb essence. We play Aegis. And this is where we're at. Everybody is ready to go. Probably lock that in here. Okay. Okay, so there is a slight change that I should actually make here. And I think I'm not supposed to be playing Stasis, and I instead should be playing Favor. And the reason for that is because not only does it upgrade both of my innates, but it also is a defend 4 for this land. So that card is being very strong. So let me execute Fractured here. So 1 fear, defend 4 with favors, and then I get 2 more fear with portents. And this is where I could have also just used Called ISO to solve this land, but this is the route I decided to go with. This is where Called a Guard goes, gathers this guy into here, and then we get nice little defend 2 here. And I technically have a Called ISO here, but I don't really have a good target, which is still fine. I guess I could Called ISO this town out like this. It would have been nice to actually hit over here or here, but I unfortunately need the Sacred Site to get that defend 4. But okay, so that's Fractured. We're going to be using that Unrelenting and the Slow. We have Overgrowth, where we're going to Overgrowth into this land over here on C8. And this is one of the things that a lot of players, when they see me, they say, "Oh, I get so lucky." The thing is when you're playing a powerful team like this, you see, like I said, you see so many percentage of the cards, right? We just said 36% of the minor deck we've already seen. Like, we're bound to find some of the good cards, right? This game, we found some on-element cards with Fractured, we found Elemental Boon, but we didn't find Constancy, we didn't find Call to Trade, we didn't find Nature's Connection, we didn't find Twin Days. You know, there's so many good cards in this minor deck. When you see such a high percentage, you're gonna eventually find the cards, and that's because you're playing good spirits. Um, okay, so we talked about Starlight, talked about Fractured, talked about Green, Serpent. What are we gonna do here? So Serpent is definitely going to definitely absorb Green, I believe, grabbing this presence here. 1, 2, 3. Gain energy gives Green a plant, so now Green can bring back 2 presents. And then Fractured is going to spend 1 slip to allow Serpent to do a reclaim and play. I think, yeah, reclaim, absorb essence, play, absorb essence, and because we drew elemental boon, there's a good chance we could do prolifts if I grab. So if I grab Starlight can threshold unrelenting growth. It's probably better I go with Fractured though, because then I can prolif Fractured again. 1, 2, 3. Could probably grab this. I am very sad if it's wetlands, but it's not the end of the world. And then now, when I do this elemental Aegis, this is going to be defend 5. And we do that here. And that fully defends all of these lands. And we have more slips. So I think the next slip I want to do would cost us 1 time, and that's going to be on Serpent. That allows them to reclaim a card and then play a card. This is where by having Shore Seas, I could do that, and that's going to give me the elements if I get the extra plant to threshold down here. And that's why I said drafting Shore Seas is really important. We found Elemental Boon, which means I probably want to be doing that instead. Same thing. So I reclaim, I play Elemental Boon, and then now I can give elements away. All we need is Earth Plant on the Elemental Boon, and then it could be anything else. So that means I probably go. If I do Earth Plant Water, I upgrade Green's Innate. If I do. There's no reason to put it on Fractured. If I do Earth Plant Sun with Gift of unfortunately we're just off from I'm like can I thrush? No, I can. Yeah. So actually, we should do Earth Plant Sun on both of these spirits, because then that means when Unrelenting is taken, they can go Sun Plant, and that will give them the Sun innate, the Plant innate, as well as Threshold. So that's perfect. Because when you Unrelenting Growth, you uncover the presence, and then you can hit the thresholds immediately. So, okay, so we did 1 slip, did a 2nd slip. I actually think we should probably do a 3rd slip. Usually I don't like to do, like, and this is what I was saying earlier, usually I don't like to go down to this, because then if I reclaim, I'm stuck at 2 plays, and then that forces Flowing Power to come out. But we're getting a prolif off of the left innate. So essentially I'm prolifing, and then I reclaim, gain 2 time, and it works out. So I think I'm okay using the slip innate 1 more time, so I'm going to do that on a Gift of Prolif, to reclaim, to play prolif, over to here, and then that is going to allow Serpent to grow again. And we'll grow probably to here. Cool. Actually, I should probably put it. I think I'll go here. Oh, and actually, let's go here. Okay, so that is that. We've used up 3 slips, and we are pretty much ready to go, I think. I think everything looks pretty nice. I guess I don't need the plant, and I can instead go with a moon. Yeah, moon is better, because I already have these innates, and we know moon is coming. All right, there's a 50-50 shot of this being a moon card. And it is new species spread. And we are halfway there. We need 8. Now, this is a very easy card for us to pay for, though, right? We're going to go with the plant as my any. So we need 8 here. And we're reclaiming with Fractured. We're reclaiming with Serpent. Oh, and I think I might have forgotten to get the extra 3 energy off of this. I can't remember. I'm not going to go back and look. So I'm 4 off, right? 4 off. I could probably just forget reimagining here. And that pays for it. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And I get to add some beasts. And I mean, you technically, like, maybe I'm not supposed to forget it and I'm supposed to discard, but this is what it is. New species spread, so I got to add the disease. And actually, maybe I'm supposed to. Yeah, it's fine. It's whatever. I was like, I guess I could actually just pay the energy instead. And then keep Boon of Reimagining in case I want to keep cycling cards. You know what? It's probably better I do that. So energy, 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 energy. And that allows me to keep Boon of Reimagining. Because all of the spirits are gaining the energy off of patterns in dance. Because I have presence in all in Lands of Tudahan. So presence, 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 and then what? Did I not get it with green? I might have not got it with green because I was messing up. Yep, I did not get it with green. So green does not get the energy, but is what it is. Okay, so adding the disease now. Disease should probably go. That's another thing, right? I could have made this slow to fast. That's what I wanted to do to kill this city. I get 2 diseases, so I guess 1 disease definitely goes here. So that stops the triangle trade. And I probably put the other disease. I mean, here would stop another triangle trade, so it's probably better there. I hate losing the Dahan, but is what it is. Okay, Wetland Ravage. Oh no, Dahan lives. We blow up that presence. That gets traded. That's good. That's good. We skip there. That gets traded. That gets traded. And we have to scout in 6. Everybody's favorite rule. I forgot to blight. And building mountains. Go. And the explorer. Oh man, the wetlands. Now I have to escalate a blight there, escalate a blight there. And this is going to be, this should have a town left. So I have to either lose a presence here. This is what I was worried about putting the presences if I have to get the instant blights. I guess I get a blight here. Gosh, just freaking 4. And I mean, this is because France leads. This is the problem with this comp. I mean, I guess I go here. I lose the presence. And then alright, to France 6. Everybody's favorite rule. France 6, France 6, France 6, and France 6. Okay. Now we do, I think it's Slave Rebellion next. No, it's not this turn, it's next turn, but it's a stage 3 rebellion, which means I'm probably not supposed to mess with the event here. because I would rather, and this is where I have that right innate to mess with the event, but I probably don't want that because I want the rebellion to come up as a stage 3. Oh dang, that's all right. Okay, so I have, what do I have to do? The slow phase. So I think we first start off with Starlight taking unrelenting growth. I could have actually given it to Serpent to really make things crazy, but I think it's actually just better on Starlight here, so that Starlight can go ramp like this, giving them a sun and a plant card locked here. Sun and plant element locked, which means this is going to heal a blight. I should probably go here. Also adds a wilds. Slowly healing the blight. I'll eventually get there. And then I'm going to then gain a power card, which means I'll probably grab another major here, just so I can continue digging. There's Weave. Weave is the best card here. The Straggling Firevine is pretty memey, but Weave is super strong. Let's grab Weave. And get rid of Disorienting. And then I have the energy off the Sun innate. So 1 energy, 1, 2, 3. And then we also have the plant innate that we can give out a power card. I think so. We're getting power. We're getting a minor off of green. We're getting another card off of. I mean, what if it's just another minor off of? Let's get a minor for Starlight here. Well, I got Weave. Maybe I should have given this to someone else. I'm not sure. Don't think it really matters here. Part of me wants to go with Steam Vents, but yeah, I'll just go with Steam Vents. Oh, actually, but Veil could be pretty spicy, right? No, not really. How are we looking on town count? 22? Yeah, 22. So we have the right innate here with Snake. It's going to be 3 damage, push a town. I think, yeah, I think what we do is we kill the city here. And then we push this town out. Probably go to here. I'll probably go to this. Probably go to this land. And then we have the innate, so we're going to go energy, energy, energy. And then we're going to use the proliferation regrowth. And I'd probably just go here into this mountain. And then we have the innates, which is going to be stem, which is going to damage 3 towns. And then I do the left innate killing 3 towns, just making sure that town count is low. Very nice. Like I said, I have Aegis for over here. Oh, did I not build in this mountain? I forgot to build there. Okay, so we did all of that. We did everything here, did everything here, did everything here. We just need to execute. Oh, we have to do the prolifs. So prolifs with Snake as well as Fractured. Fractured so I don't die. Snake. I guess I could probably go to this wetland. Because like here, we're now set up to do a fast Snake Quake on the wetlands. And this is what I was mentioning earlier, where like that Snake Quake comes out on turn 4. It's like next turn we'll have 4 plays. And then we're gonna get hyper proliferated, and we're just gonna immediately get to like 12-5 next turn. Okay, so we just have fields grow or fields choked. Oh, that definitely sucks because I lost the presence here. I would have loved to be able to have moved to Han here. I mean, I guess we just put these 2 Han together so that they can trade here. Just pairing everything up. Okay, that's fields choked, and we time pass. I think that's everything. Cool. So this is where we're at. I don't think I'm gonna go any further just because I think we're pretty much locked in. Like snakes uncovering 4 plays next turn. They go grow, they reclaim. They then play like all of their 4 miners that are very powerful. They have that Aegis that's just going to keep defending these lands nicely and cleaning up the invaders. We'll probably go blighted just because of the silly France leading. Um, so like yeah, we grow, we get gift of prolif, plus we prolif off of this innate, and then maybe we get another prolif off of slip. So like as you guys can see, there's just so much stuff that's going to happen for us. And then ideally we would end up getting the Snakequake next turn, just being able to clear out those wetlands plus the rebellion. Yes, like fractured, they reclaim. They have the 3 time. They have the 3 plays, which means they're able to use up to 3 slips this turn. They'll probably just throw down like I don't know, just whatever, just any amount of cards. So like maybe these 3 get played. Now all of their innates are maxed. Not sure what I would do with Starlight. And even then, when I gained the major, when I gained the minor, I didn't put much thought into it. I'm probably getting another major. Like you have so many options, right? Do I reclaim? Do I play freaking Unrelenting Growth again? I'm probably looking to skip H3, maybe. I don't know. I mean, there's tons of options. I mean, I can go weave plus skip into these lands. Also, like maybe I was supposed to grow like this instead, such that I get access to the 4 energy. I don't know. I didn't put all of the time I probably should have. But yeah, I really think that there's just really nothing they can do. Like the writing's on the wall. Like Serpent, yeah, reclaim, presence. They're probably getting a major in the slow power, in the slow phase, and then we'll go blighted likely unless it's like a sand. What's this? Sands? Oh, it is jungle. Okay, so we're not going to go blighted because we'll end up getting escalated here, 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 and here. So we get town ads, and then trying to think. This is what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're building 6 towns plus 4, so 10 towns. 11, 12, 13 towns get added, but then we're gonna trade a bunch as well. So I mean, yeah, I think we're in a pretty good spot. I think I've covered pretty much everything here. Covered the core. Oh yeah, so I guess we didn't talk about the mid game or the end game. So like I said, so turn 3 is our target to get to the 4 plays, which we're at. Turn 4, we're basically looking to have everything maxed out, as in our tracks maxed out. And then we're trying to hit this on turn 4 fast with fractured if possible. And then this is going to kill majority of adversaries because it's going to do a lot of just single points of damage just built across the board. So like looking at our board here, right? Like it's jungle. So like there's going to be an explorer town here. There's going to be 3 explorers in a town here. But like when you look at the damage, like this is going to be 5 damage here, 3 damage here. Like you're just completely wiping out all these jungles that are going to come up, which means they're not going to build. And then every turn you're doing this, and you're just going to completely obliterate the board. Not to mention you're also playing majors, and you're still like setting up the team, and then you still have slips, and then you still have Starlight that's also doing stupid stuff. Like Starlight still gets to grow. Like what if they go with the major here, and then like there's the echoes that I was just telling you about. So like now you have Echoes Green combo, and then you have Echoes Green plus Transformative plus just like there's just crazy just nonsense that's going to happen in this game, and just this is the power of this team, and um, just how you guys saw in the wind maxing games with when I first started my 6-6 series with Lightning Wind, and they were it was a very powerful team, but also I really loved it because I felt every game the adversary had a chance. When I'm playing with this team, I don't really think the adversary has a chance in majority of the 6-6s. I think maybe Habsburg England, maybe maybe Habsburg Sweden, but you're also looking at like dark timelines because like you're looking at the worst case, like worst edge cases, because I still think you have so many outs, so many skips on your spirits that can deal with things, so many draft potential. The game just always feels very just very winnable. It's also fairly easy to pilot. I know like it might be a little confusing understanding like fractured and fractured slip economy, but like um, the first turn, as you saw, like you're really not doing much, right? You're just taking a bunch of gifted prolifs turn one, and then the turn two is also like very standard. Like I think that the hardest part is just like that turn one reimagining draft with fractured, and that could be a reason to play my Earth instead, just because it's more simple. But I think overall this is a lot easier team to max out. So hopefully this video was informative for someone that was curious about the Serpent cheese team or Serpent maxing. I look forward to doing more of these super team videos down the road. I can't wait to show you guys the mentor versions, and there's some other teams I have planned.